baileabhair. It's been a little while since I've made a video, and I said I'd just make a quick video just to have something to show. I've been very busy the last year or 2 years, so and I'll still be busy next week, but I'm hoping to be a bit more regular and start uploading videos a bit more frequently. And maybe start doing some videos with subtitles. Just doing like a general podcast, maybe video essays talking about random stuff. There is an excellent podcast out at the moment called Dialectal, with all the writers, the journalists from canúint.ie, the Irish language online newspaper, Sean Gadavi, and who's the other one? Matthew Cumming and beidh and all them, and it's very, very good. And they have kind of text to speech things there. So if I can figure out, I'll ask my baileabhair or my chumrádaí, whatever the proper term is, shows to just have a go and see can he do something like that text to speech thing. But there was a lot of errata in those last few videos I did. I'm not necessarily an expert on anything. I'm certainly not an expert on Munster Irish, and there's a lot of or Donegal Irish. Now, no one, the Moiney were a bit more priggish about some of my pronunciations. Like I'd said, Gorevis instead of Gorawus and things like that. And like I say, I'm not perfect at those things. At the Munster Irish in particular, I constantly kind of make little mistakes like that. Like they have very unusual kind of verb forms and stuff down there compared to the way I talk. Like given to, although I've heard given instead of fawn or fayin, as some people might say. In the Chichan, given to Brother Marshall and given to Law Marshall. Yeah, I've heard it very infrequently, but anyway, I'm not. So there was a lot of like little mistakes in there that, you know, I'm sure, and I saw the comments, a lot of people picked up on it, so that's fair enough. I take that on the chin, and like I wouldn't really be an expert on the distinctions between Ring Irish and I would say Muskerry Irish, just the very obvious phonetic differences like Sime and Heimpul and the Yinus and those kind of things, and Neon. What else did they say in Ring? I'm trying to remember. Neon, I think they say for Neil, and then I have a feeling they say Gujé the odd time, but I'm not sure. Or not Gujé, but J Baileabhair instead of like Consagat or Constantu. But I have to double check that. I can't remember where I heard that, or I could be mixing it up with Ossory Irish with Kilkenny Irish, J Baileabhair, something like that. But it is a Ring speaker there, you can comment. And I didn't get any feedback from people about the Donegal Irish, which either means it was perfect or it was so bad that they couldn't be arsed to correct it. So I don't know. I'd be a bit more comfortable talking about like Donegal Irish than Munster Irish. Even still, though, there'd be things that I certainly would get wrong. Like I think I neglected to mention that sometimes to express the future tense in Donegal Irish, they'll use like present tense of like Jiku Mara, will you come tomorrow? Which like cheek would or hig or cheek would kind of be like, I suppose, a present tense form. Chicken, we'd say in Erris, chicken sheshtach or chicken to chalala. But I said I'll just use this video to give some useful sources or resources maybe that people aren't aware of, or a lot of you probably will be. There's a wonderful website called canúint.ie, which is Andrea Palandri, the linguist and musician extraordinaire, has had a huge part in doing, and I have to say the transcriptions are excellent. They're absolutely spot on. And I was kind of looking at the ones from East Mayo just to see how, because there was bits in there I should with and picked them up. So very, very good, and it's very, very useful to kind of see the differences between standards. So anyway, but I'm going to give a couple of terms and expressions actually, which I got from his wife as well, who did a master's, research master's on terms that are used amongst women, particularly to do with like pregnancy and I suppose household matters and stuff. But she had a couple of interesting phrases that kind of came up when she was doing a workshop on it in canúint.ie. It was one of the words that came up was spréite, spréite, spréite is how we'd say it, and that means when you're overfed or extremely full. Like if you've had a big meal at Christmas, you'd be spréite. And she had another one which was a very funny kind of expression, which was beidh or beidh imithe gcnoc. Your mum will be gone with the mist to the hills. Or I suppose the expression in English would be I'll hit the roof. So if someone was about to really lose their temper, if their mum was extremely angry with you and you were pushing your luck, she'd say, she hit the roof. I'm going to hit the roof in a minute. There's a couple of other words. If you go to the Erris website, they have recordings of these kind of expressions and stuff that are very specifically North Mayo. One of them was baileabhair, which I think is maybe a contraction of bail and wawit, the cause of deafness or the cause of bother or the spot of bother. But baileabhair is a pain in the arse. So if someone was like completely burning the ear off, you're talking shafwood, would say, or cacamas, you would say it's baileabhair more arse. And then another one that came up that I heard off someone from Akel, but it's used in Erris as well, is ceannaí. And obviously can is your head. Ceannaí can mean like a merchant or a purchaser, but a ceannaí can also mean a header. So if someone's like, so you go into the pub and there's some fella dancing around the table and say, that's more a ceannaí, Jack can a ceannaí sin hall. There were a couple other things as well. I was listening to Rachel McGrath's interview, and there was a couple of younger speakers from kind of the Mayo Gaelic to the little bit of it that's left. And it's kind of shocking to hear how much kind of Gaelic in the Scoile is having an impact on the Irish speaking. It's not to criticise those people at all, but like there's things like in Mayo Irish and in Connacht Irish. Actually, I'm not going to say Mayo Irish, I'm going to say Connacht Irish because it's true for Sligo. The Irish is spoken in Sligo, they spoken in Roscommon, they spoken in East Galway, apart from maybe Achra and Gailva, and certainly still in Cornmono and Turmacady. If you have an adjunct or the verbal adjective, so like, you know, sauce the G&T instead of sauce the and Gianta, as it would say in South Connemara, which is kind of like the Munster pronunciation. Sauce the jump you hear a little bit in Rossmuck sometimes they'll say fácaí, but it's always an E sound in Connacht. So like sauce the creachnaí, fácaí, rupaí, smearthaí, stristí, milchi, kinchi instead of kinte, is it in Connemara when they say they're certain, they'd say they're kinte, but it's kinchi in Connacht, in the rest of Connacht. So those little things I'm going to try and do a little bit more, and I'll try and do I'll try and be a bit more regular with my broadcasts, if you want to call them that, from now on. And just because unfortunately it seems like maybe you could say the Gaeltacht Maria might be alive, or there'll be a couple of people speaking Irish, but can you really have a Gaeltacht dialect? I'm not sure, but just to save those little things and try and keep them going. But yeah, it's kind of important we hold on to whatever little bit of it, because no one else is going to kind of take care of those things. And it was the Irish that spoken in most of North Connacht, and in most of Connacht, really, to be honest, was very similar to those kind of sounds, not uniform. And what else? That's it for the moment. Yeah, I'm going to try. What I'll try and do is do like a kind of podcast thing where I'll do sort of maybe talking about general rubbish, and I'll see can I get somebody else just as kind of like kind of like the Easy German web YouTube channel where you can kind of listen to people talking at a normal pace and kind of work out what they're talking about, and then maybe some more explicit instructional things just kind of on things. And as I say, I'm not an expert and I make mistakes constantly, as is very evident, the last few videos I did, and I'm not, like I say, I try not to criticise other people's Irish, because it's like, I'm only a learner as well. I'm not a native Irish speaker, and I don't think it really helps either. So take anything I say, just it's my opinion. It's just one opinion. It's my opinion, man. Like the Big Lebowski, but I do think it's kind of important to try and hold on to the little bit of I suppose the content that we have left, because I think it will unfortunately die in the next few decades, and it's an awful shame. But anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say for the moment, and this is my second time trying to upload this video, because the first time I did it, I noticed that the lighting condition wasn't very great, and my considerable forehead looked like the fucking moon. So anyway,